one of the things I've learned, that is one of the things that you probably also have come across, no doubt, in your time, is this saying that's like, happiness is an inside job, right? This is all happening on the inside. Like, you can't force reality on the outside to be a certain way in order to then feel happy. Knowing this whilst navigating life is way more energy efficient, because essentially, you know deep down that happiness cannot be acquired on the outside. My experience is always happening on the inside. So it's like, how can I get my brain to give me the happy chemicals without needing to buy a house in order to do that? So many incredibly wealthy people have noted, once they got everything that they believed they wanted, and I've had this to some experience as well, you get the dream life, you get the dream wife, you get the big mansion, you get the big cars, go get it. I want that shit too, like, no judgment. But so many people say it doesn't change anything. You still have the same problems because your whole human experience is happening on the inside of you. Some people are going to be interested in this and resonating with this and be like, this is actually really curious. I'm interested around. There's something about what you're talking about that where my body goes, ooh, that's actually quite interesting. And a lot of other people will just be like, I'm not interested in talking about this kind of stuff. Let me just get on with my simple life. But tell me this, how much more simple can you make your life, right, and beautiful and elegant, when you don't need the outside to be a certain way in order for you to feel good about yourself and to feel happy or satisfied or worthy or any of this stuff? It's like, with all of the healing journey stuff, with all of the spirituality stuff and the self-inquiry, looking inwards, doing therapy, psychedelic plant medicines, my very surface level but curious study of sort of Eastern traditions, Eastern philosophy like Buddhism, all of it points to the same thing. The only really, really real experience that I'm having is my own nervous system interacting with the reality that I'm also in part creating, like co-creating. In terms of quantum physics, our reality responds and literally changes in the presence of our conscious awareness. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole too deep, but like, essentially what everything's pointing at is like, stop being caught up in the distraction of what's going on around you and focus on yourself. Focus on your experience, focus on your 5+ senses, because we're multi-sensory organisms, we're biological miracles. Who the fuck actually really knows what's going on or why we're here? Nobody knows what the meaning and the purpose of all of this is. And if anybody ever says that they have the one true meaning and purpose, or that their God is the one true God, take what they say with a pinch of salt. Like, nobody knows what's going on here. And the mind, my mind, several times in my life has gone and like freaked out and glitched out and had to do a hard reset. And that's actually part of the process of awakening. To be in such deep confusion is to hit reset on your software so that you can update it with a new one. Confusion is actually quite a positive experience to be having, because it means that you're realizing that you don't fucking know. And from there, you can begin to learn. When you begin to realize that you don't even know how much you don't know how much you don't know, the mind just goes, and the heart comes on board. We have to bring it down into the heart, because the heart just goes, yeah, it's big, isn't it? Life. It's big, this life. It's big to exist. How does that feel? How does that feel? How does it feel to know that you don't know? Of course, your mind isn't capable of holding the infinite. The whole universe understood by a little human mind? Unlikely. So how do we not freak the fuck out? We learn to trust our heart. And again, we go inwards. How does it feel? What do I feel like? And then we can start playing in this realm of feeling satisfied, feeling good about ourselves, feeling healthy, feeling like content, even just not feeling shit, right? We can feel not shit. We can even go as far and push the envelope and fucking feel good if you want. You can feel good without waiting for our circumstances to change. They don't fucking teach you that in school, do they? So constantly, I'm realizing more and more, like, it's my responsibility. How I feel is my responsibility. How I feel is my responsibility. It's not my parents' responsibility. It's not my friends' responsibility. It's not the responsibility of my online audience. It's not the responsibility of my fucking government or whatever season we're in. Nobody is responsible for me in the way I'm responsible for me. And so if I don't like the way I feel, only I can change that. Especially if you want to do it permanently. Of course, we need support. And sometimes you need to phone a friend and just be like, bro, I feel terrible. Like, and just open up and cry. And hopefully it's my prayer that you have someone like that can jump on a phone call with you for an hour and just listen and be like, I hear you, I feel you. Fuck, life's shit sometimes, really shit. That's okay. I'm still here, you're still here, I still love you, I'm still here to witness all of this. You're no less of a person because you're unhappy. You're not a bad person for feeling sad or grieving or being confused. You're not a bad person for not having it all sorted out yet, because anybody who says they've got it fucking sussed, probably a lot of people have it like quite dialed in by this time. There's a lot of incredibly intelligent leaders, and a lot of them are on the internet. And so you can see that these people are content and have found themselves in a state of harmony with this reality. Everybody else is out of harmony with this reality because they're out of harmony with themselves. So I'm hoping that this video has got some kind of value for you in it, even if it's just a little bit of energy to be like, let's fucking go, keep going, keep going, keep going, you've got this. Because I'm telling myself that at the moment, because I'm the only person who can really get myself going. And if there's nobody else around to help G me up, then I've got that for myself. I've got my back on that one. I can get myself excited about life. And there are a bunch of things that support that process, like getting good sleep, like not being on my phone too much. And this is going to be a whole nother video because I am so addicted to the internet. And I know not everybody is addicted to the internet. I hope that you're not addicted to the internet. But because I know from my first-hand experience as someone who I consider myself to be like a capable human being that is in command of the choices that I make, I'm finding myself not being in command of the choices that I'm making regularly, where I'm like, oh, I'm just on Instagram again. I'm on Instagram again. I'm on Instagram again. Now, I know that what that means is that I am avoiding, I'm reaching for comfort and pleasure, something that feels good, that dopamine hit. Just let me feel, let me just relax a little bit. I'm reaching for that hit of dopamine, but I'm also trying to avoid something uncomfortable. Being a human being ain't all comfort. You know, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, as we know. And we didn't come down here to be all rainbows and butterflies. We came down here to have our full human experience, including the darkness, which will teach you a lot if you're open to receive. But in my experience, which is probably similar to your experience, these fucking phones are like crack cocaine. And I've never tried crack cocaine, but apparently, according to experienced users, it's quite addictive. We're reaching for the comfort to avoid the discomfort. Usually, what's uncomfortable for you? It's a great question to ask yourself. For me, what's uncomfortable for me is not being in control, not knowing whether everything's going to work out, not being able to predict the future, not being able to control everything, basically. That's, my ego hates that. And so when life doesn't go the way I planned, my ego freaks out about that, and it feels uncomfortable, and I get angry, and the feeling of anger and frustration, those kinds of emotions, those kinds of feelings are uncomfortable for me. And so as soon as they start to come up, my natural tendency, because this is kind of how I've been programmed and conditioned, like we all have, is to avoid the discomfort and reach for the pleasure. Some people do it with food. Some people do it with their phones. For me, my struggle is cannabis. And I love cannabis. And I abuse it sometimes when I'm really going through a tough time, because it's my reach for the pleasure to avoid the discomfort. And these uncomfortable emotions and these feelings and these aspects of being a human being, these parts that we're pushing away, these shadow parts that we don't want to like sit with, are actually where the gold lies if you are someone who is interested in knowing themselves on a deeper level and integrating parts of yourself that you think are bad, so that then you can walk with confidence, speak with confidence, act and make choices with confidence, that there aren't these darker shadow aspects of yourself that you're pushing away. So these things that we push away are going to come back up at some point. They always fucking come back up. If there's an emotion that needs to be felt and you don't feel it, it will sit in your physical body until it's time for it to be triggered and released again. Anger is a perfect example of this, with road rage. Not so much anymore, because I'm a bit more chilled out now and I've done a bunch of work around this anger situation. But I used to have so much anger and frustration as a young man that if someone road raged at me, the anger and frustration within me would match that energy and just be like, yes. I like enjoyed getting angry. I enjoyed the frustration because it would be a bit of a release, but it would get me into trouble and it would be such a waste of energy. And so at some point I had to sit with that anger and feel that anger, and there was rage. I had rage stored in the depths of my body that felt so good to release. And then if someone cuts me up, there's no rage left within me that goes rah and like wants to road rage at people, you know, or argue with something. It's like, once you've cleared it, it's clear. This is that somatic, physical body, energetic release healing experiences that we can have through breath work, through Kundalini activations and awakenings, psychedelic plant medicine. Anyway, this is a long video now, so I just want to round it off and just be like, focus on yourself, on your inside. Close your eyes and turn your eyes inwards. Breathe deeply, meditate, connect with your physical body, and notice your thoughts, and notice how your thoughts impact your mood and your energy. Then choose which thoughts you want to think to choose the which way that you want to feel. Easier said than done. Human psyches are complex. We need support with this kind of stuff. We need therapy. We need community. And sometimes we need coaches to help us coach us through this kind of stuff. Sometimes we need ceremony as well. Breathwork ceremonies, for example, or if you're brave, psychedelic ceremonies too. This is how we get to know ourselves on a much deeper level. And so then we can get to have a deeper relationship with ourselves, which then usually ends up meaning that we're making better choices for ourselves. And then we create better habits, more healthy habits for ourselves, because we are deepening our relationship to ourselves in a loving way. And then our relationship to reality and other people reflects the relationship that we have with ourselves. Stop trying to change the outside world to feel better about yourself. Close your eyes, go inwards, and watch miracles happen. As you do the inner work, as you change what's going on the inside, the outside changes. You just wait. Think about the difference between when you're in a mood or when you're smiley. How many more people are smiling at you when you're smiley? That is reality reflecting your inside world. Anyway, I hope this video was useful and some of it was somewhat valuable to you. Thank you for listening to me ramble about this. I love you very much, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'll see you guys in a video really soon. Peace.